Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon, Amma. Please inform it to your students to participate in the class. So please ask them to join in the class. Okay, today we'll discuss about another important electronic component, because the operational amplifier, which is used mainly for the purpose of mathematical operations in the electronic circuits. So mathematical operations means we need the main mathematical operations like addition of the values, subtraction of the values, similarly the integration of the data as well as the differentiation. So these are the four important functions, and also the multiplication and division. Multiplication and division, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, integration, and differentiation. 6 different operations. All the operations can be performed by the operational amplifier. And sometimes these circuits, that is operational amplifiers, are used for solving the differential equations also. So in your second unit, the end after function generators. So function generators will produce various type of functions like sine wave, square wave, rectangular wave, pulses, etc. And also the pulses can be generated by 555 timer. Later we have some small topic, that is this solving of differential equations by using the operational amplifier. So where we have this differentiator integrator, because if there is any differentiation, the differentiation is the input of the integrator, and after passing through the integrator we'll get its function. So differentiation will be eliminated by the integration operation. So therefore it is one of the very important operators. So this what are the things we can do with the integrator, that we have to see. So normally, if in a feedback place, in place of a feedback, if you are connecting some feedback capacitor, okay, in place of resistor, if you are simply replacing your feedback resistor with some capacitor, then it is converting as an integrator. So here feedback resistor, if you are connecting, that is simply inverting op amp. If you are connecting like this, we have inverting op amp. So, but that feedback resistance replaced with a capacitor, then it is acting as an integrator. So integrator means the output. So output which is taken from terminal 6. The output of the integrator is equal to the integration of the input function, V in T. So this is the general. So integration of the applied input voltage. This input voltage you can integrate. So suppose if it is a differentiator, so dVin by dt. So then what will happen? That is differentiation part, it will be integrated. So integration of the differentiation is its actual function, that is V in. So if there is a second order differentiation, we need two integrators. So first integrator will remove one differentiation. One more integrator is required that will eliminate the second differentiation. So like that, this integrator is one of the important. So here on for with this, it also obeys the some time constant value. That is the values of R and C. These values also, they will play a very, very important role. Their role is, here it is, output is, they are in the denominator. So it's reactance component. Let us take this, you can write it in the XC format. Reactance of the capacitor is concerned, which is equal to 1 by omega C, which is a frequency dependent component. Capacitor is always a frequency variable because its reactance, that is the resistance of the capacitor or resistance of the inductor, will be varying with the variation of the frequency. So therefore, that reactance part is XC, which is equal to 1 by omega C. That is equal to 1 by 2 pi. Omega is 2 pi f. So that you can write it here. So therefore, this part, so if you are writing C, C can be written as C is equal to 1 by XC. 1 by XC. So in place of this, other things we'll take it as some constant. So in place of this, you have to write it as 1 by XC. The C is equal to 1 by XC. If you are writing XC here, that XC will move to the, because it is a denominator by denominator, that will go to the numerator place. So therefore, your V out is equal to, this is the general format, and this minus sign, because it is applied to the inverting input. So therefore, the output signal is, it is having 180 degrees phase difference. So that minus indicates there is some phase difference. So it has some opposite phase. Output is opposite phase with the input. So this is XC by Vn. XC by Vn. So Vn is, that is the differentiation of this function. So like this, we will find out. So this Vn you can bring into this side. For example, here we have applied some differentiation function. Simply you will get Vn like this. So that Vn you have to bring into this side. V out by Vn is generally gain. Gain of the amplifier. Gain of the amplifier is output voltage divided by input voltage. That is equal to V out by Vn, which is equal to minus XC by R. So that is a gain. So AV is equal to minus XC by R, where this XC can be taken as like this. XC can be here 1 by 2 pi RC, you can substitute. So then which is equal to AV, the gain is equal to 1 by 2 pi into RCF. So this gain is inversely proportional to the frequency. So gain is inversely proportional. That is, the frequency is very low. It has a maximum gain. Frequency is very low. The gain is maximum. If you are increasing, slowly the gain component will be reduced. So that means the general shape is appearing like this. Frequency versus gain. From this formula, what we observe? So F term is at the denominator. Therefore, it is inversely proportional to F. So if you are increasing this, so slowly at the initial gain is high, then slowly reducing, it is like this. But here, a sharp frequency where we have to operate this. To operating the integrator at a particular frequency, it is very difficult. So experimentally to operate a particular frequency somewhere here. So let us assume if you want to operate this, it is very difficult. So therefore, we have to modify this integrator by connecting some external resistor in parallel with the capacitor. So for the practical integrator is concerned, which is not only having the integrator, it's a partial part of the inverting circuit. Inverter. So inverter is, which is having some gain. So like, let us add one more component so that this nature of this linear falling nature will be reduced, and somewhere here from here to here Up to this, it is constant gain. So that constant gain means we'll get some bandwidth. So certain group of frequencies we can able to use, some range of frequency. So in that range, we can operate that integrator. So therefore, the practical integrator circuit diagram is concerned, which is appearing like this. So one additional resistor we have to add. So additional resistor means if it is very high signal is concerned, if it is very high input voltage, high means for the higher and higher frequencies, this is for high frequency signals, the reactance will be very small. For high input signals, which is passing through this, for low frequency, it is almost zero. Cheppandi sir. Days అదే మీరు మండే ఇచ్చినారంట కదా. ఓకే, అంటే మా మిస్సెస్ తో చూద్దామని అనుకున్నాను. ఫస్ట్ థర్డ్ అండ్ సిక్స్త్, ఫస్ట్ థర్డ్ సిక్స్త్, ఫస్ట్ అంటే రేపే కదా, థర్స్డే, సాటర్డే అండ్ ట్యూస్డే. So this is acting as, which is acting as for the higher frequencies, this path it will choose, it is like a integrator. And for the low frequency, any DC components are concerned, almost this is in the, it will not allow any signal. So for DC components, it is like open circuit that will pass through this. So therefore, it will get some gain minus RF by R. So this is the way to eliminate this type of pattern, to a constant gain like this. So up to this particular region, say some lower cutoff frequency, up to this region, it is a constant gain, then slowly it will decrease like this. So this FL, it is based on what are the values you have taken in the this circuit diagram. It is based on R and C values. So that is the RF and CF values. That cutoff frequency will be based on RF and CF values. RF and CF. So that is this cutoff frequency FL, which is equal to 1 by 2 pi into RF into CF. These values you have to take. So the values of RF and CF, based on their values, your lower cutoff frequency will be dependent. Lower cutoff frequency will be depending on the complete parallel connections, that is RF and CF. So which is based on. So suppose if you want to choose some cutoff, let us 1 kilohertz. So this you can keep it as 1 kilohertz, and C is also fixed. By knowing these two values, we can able to find out this RF, how much resistance we want to connect. So that you have to identify. Now, for a particular frequency, almost the gain is 0. So that is the almost zero gain frequency, that is F0. So F0 will be completely based on these two values, this R and CF. So R and CF, based on those values, its formula F0 is equal to 1 by 2 pi R into CF. FL is equal to 1 by 2 pi into RF CF. So this is the general formula. This F0, that is the complete gain is 0, which is depending on the input R and the capacitance, and this cutoff frequency is depending on the capacitor and parallel resistor connected to the capacitor. So that is the formula. And for the operating frequency, so the operating frequency, so that is the signal frequency, is approximately 10 times. That is what is the here, this one. So you have to apply approximately 10 times of this FL. So for the better use of the device. So that is Fs is larger than 10 times of Fl. So that means if Fl is equal to 159 heads, Fl is equal to 159 heads, 10 times of this one is, so that is 1.59 kilohertz. So now you can see this is one of the sinusoidal waveform we have to apply. So that is here 2 pi omega t in the format sine 2 pi omega t. So that omega belongs to the frequency component. Approximately here it is 5 kilohertz. So therefore your FL is equal to 159. 10 times of FL is 1.59 kilohertz. So therefore this is 5000, that is above this range 1.59. So therefore this is a load signal. So you can use this as a practical integrator. So for this condition, you can use it as a practical suitable integrator. Now, if you are applying a sinusoidal waveform, so normally the general output is appearing like this. So that is, you can, output is the integration of the input signal. Here your input is Vin is equal to sine 2 pi 5000 t. And if you are differentiating, that is integrating, sine integration is cos 2 pi 5000 t. So 5000 t. And also based on this these values, R into CF, R is 1 kilo ohm and CF is, let us assume, 10 nanofarads. So if you want to find out this value, okay, so in this format we are getting approximately some 10 to the power of 5 divided by 2 pi into 5000. So roughly it is equal to 3.18 cos. So this is the general formula. Now suppose that is for the sinusoidal case. In the same situation, if you are applying a square wave, for the square wave we have to apply, square wave is applied at the input, at the function generator input. You can apply a square wave. Then what type of waveform we are going to get? So that means for the square wave, one second, this one also. So this type of square wave we can apply as your input voltage. Square wave is applied at the input of voltage. For the positive signal, what is happening? For the negative signal, what is happening? So that you can observe. For the positive signal, that is from V1, that is a 2 volts range. So that is from this to this region, that is first 50 microseconds region, first 50 microsecond region, the voltage is plus 2 volts, and next 50, that is 50 to 100 microseconds region, is a minus 2 volts. Okay, so therefore total time period, this is the time period, it is 100 microseconds, this is 50 and this is 50, 100 microseconds, and inverse of this one is frequency, that is F is equal to 1 by T, that is 1 by 100 into 10 to the power of minus 6 seconds. That you can converting into this, approximately it is 10 kilohertz. 10 kilohertz the frequency. So therefore now you can apply for the positive signal for the 0 to 50 microseconds. For 0 to 50 microseconds, it is 2 volt supply, V in voltage. 0 to 50, 1 by R CF is equal to minus 10 to the power of 5. So 0 to 50, so that is 50 into 2, approximately minus 10 volts. This is minus 10 volts for the first cycle of the clock, that is 0 to 50 microseconds, we are getting minus 10 volts. In the same way, for the 50 to 100 seconds, for the 50 to 100 seconds, that already minus signal is there, and but the output is the minus of minus, that way you will get the plus. So therefore, for the 50 to 100 microseconds time period, we will get a plus 10 volts. So it is exactly opposite to this. So therefore, the shape of the output, initially it is the positive, and through this positive signal region, the capacitor is in the state of discharging, So therefore, it will become like this. But whenever it is becoming minus, it moving in the upward direction. So that is exactly opposite to this. That is from 50 to 100 microseconds. From 50 to 100 microseconds, it goes on incrementing, and it will reach the maximum state. Again, it is coming down. So that means a triangular waveform will get. Whenever you apply a square wave, the output of this one is a triangular wave. So therefore, the waveform is appearing like this. This is the, for the positive peak, the signal is appearing like this. For this peak, 50, so which is appearing like this. So therefore, this type of shape is called as a triangular waveform. Now another case, if you are observing a second case, the signal is applying in this format. So that is one positive, then completely zero, then negative. So if you are applying like this, for positive it is, the waveform is, it is a negative, that is ramp. So downward ramp it is, this is upward ramp. So here there is no variation from this region to this region. Therefore, that is a constant gain region. So whatever the gain here, there is no change in the gain. Again, it start incrementing from this region. So this is the general shape of the this type of input signal. So these are some of the theoretical aspects of your integrator. Now we'll see the practical circuit diagram. What are the values we have taken? This type of values you have to take. And here it is a function generator or signal generator. Whether you can apply here as sinusoidal waveform or square wave. So two types of waves you can apply, and you have to observe the shape of the waveform. Sinusoidal means exactly phase. It's a cos. If you are applying a sine at the input, output is a cos of cos function, that is exactly opposite phase, and you can see the waveforms also. So here it is a chip, and you have to connect the circuit diagram. So, and you can apply the function generator with different frequency ranges. You can apply the frequency. So this is for square wave you have applied. For square wave we have applied through the function generator. This is your input. The corresponding output is. So now you can observe this waveform. So that is, this is a positive peak. Here it is a positive peak. For this positive peak, it's completely from high to low. High to low. This is the shape of the positive. Then negative peak, it is from low to high, up to this region. Okay. So in this way, we can able to produce a triangular wave at the output. So if you for the lower and lower frequency ranges, the shape is appearing like this. So this is the shape of your the integrator circuit diagram. So here it is the connections to the power supply, because dual voltage power supply is required for the, as far as whenever you are using a 741 op amp, it must need dual voltage power supply, because plus VCC and minus VCC you can connect it to the pin number 7 and 4. So that is the mandatory condition to activate to your 741 IC. So here also the various waveforms you can observe for the integrator circuit diagram. So with this, I will end my today's presentation. You can carry out this this experiment. Carry out the experiment, and first you can find out the mainly you can focus the what is the shape of your output, whether you are getting the proper shape or not. Suppose if you are applying a sinusoidal waveform, it is integrating or not. If it is integrating, you are getting a cos wave. Cos means exactly its waveform is opposite to the input signal. So that type of waveform you have to apply. Then you can apply a square waveform. So based on your RF and CF values, and also you can select what is your cutoff frequency. You can draw the frequency response also. That is, you can change the frequency and find out the gain. So up to some region, it is a constant gain. Later, slowly it will be decreased. So the frequency response of the integrator, first you can find out frequency response of the integrator. So later you can go for the conversion of the signals. Okay, apply some input, let us assume sinusoidal waveform, and finding the cos wave at a particular frequency. Then slowly increment the frequency. What is the shape of your output? The amplitude, peak to peak amplitude. Is there any change in the amplitude? So initial for the lower frequencies, the peak to peak amplitude is constant. That is, the gain is constant. That indicates the gain is constant. But incrementing the frequency further and further for higher frequencies, slowly start decrementing. So in this way, we can find the frequency response. This is one of the experiment. In the same way, the differentiator also. The differentiation is nothing but if you are applying the same type of connections, if here you can apply a square wave, the shape is observed as for positive means there is sudden hike at the edge, then it coming down. Then negative signal means negative edge. So that is a spikes you will get. One positive spike at the positive edge of the square wave. Similarly, the negative spike at the negative edge of the square wave signal. So that is the only difference we'll get. So in the differentiator, the output is the differentiation of the input. Same, it is completely the same pattern you can discuss with the differentiator also. Here also for the integrator. So in place of the capacitor here, you can connect this here. So RF is as it is. So in place of this, you can connect one capacitor here. Remove this and the feedback resistor is as it is. Capacitor is connected at the input. Then it is acting as a differentiator. So in that situation, your output is the differentiation of the, it's like this. This is your first slide. Yeah, this place. Here also will get some time constant. Differentiate V in by dt. So in that format we'll get. So you can apply the various inputs at the signal input, and you can identify the shape of your output for the differentiator also. So with this, I will end my today's presentation. So if you have any queries, please ask me. So if no queries, thank you very much for participating in today's class. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
చెప్పమ్మా ఏమన్నా అడగాది ఉందా? కొంచెం ఒక 5 minutes టైం ఉంది మనకి ఇంకా. You have any doubts? కొంచెం ఆ గూగుల్ క్లాస్ రూమ్ లో అందరూ జాయిన్ కండి. All of you please join in your Google Classroom. I have posted almost all notes and also many of the videos in each and every unit. So for all the units, I have posted beautiful videos. If you have any doubt, whenever you want, you can listen those videos. You can clarify your doubts. For all the, for almost all the topics, unit wise, I posted the material. Unit wise, I posted the videos also. You go through your Google Classroom and you are submit your internal assessment tests, internal assignments also in the Google Classroom only. Please inform to all your classmates this semester, because the corona pattern is concerned, your internal marks will be depending on the, that is online assignments only. That is the assignments submitted to your Google Classroom. So those who submitted your assignments to the Google Classroom, they only will get the internal marks. Others will not get any marks. Okay, that you have to remember. Please join to the Google Classroom and submit your, already I posted one question paper. So from the question paper, any two, that is the first 4 questions you have to write any 2. Okay, that is for your first internal assessment test. And next 4 long answer questions. Next 4 long answer questions, any 2 you have to write, that is for the second internal assessment test. So for first internal assessment test, 2 long answer questions. Second internal assessment test, another 2 long answer questions. So total 8 long answers are there. So from first 4, first internal assessment test, next 4 second internal assessment test. That is your pattern. Okay. So with this, I will ending my today's class. Thank you for your participation.